Okay, so here we are for the next episode in the Upgrading a Complete Bike series, where this time we have a box to unbox before we actually get into it. There's this box, and then there's a much larger box right there. Boom, subtle product placement that we're going to be opening up for this video and taking a look at what's inside. We're going to start with this one. The last episode, we rode with the new bars for the first time, and the bike having taller handlebars was much more comfortable for me personally, and we had a really good session on it. So we're keeping this train moving, and I suppose I should also say today is Christmas Eve, provided that I am getting this video edited in time to go up on Christmas Eve. I want to say thank you to everyone for watching on Christmas Eve. Thank you to S&M and Fit for being down for this series, and I wanted to let you guys know that if you are super mega late to buying something for someone, or you want to treat yourself for Christmas, you can buy anything that I show today, anything on the bike itself, or anything at all from Fit or S&M, using the code MORE in all caps to save you 10%, and you help me out at the same time. So it's like Merry Christmas to us both. So with that being said, let's get into this box. There's a couple new things in this box, as well as something for this series, so it kind of serves double a little bit. And check this out. This is so sick. It's an embroidered Fit hat, embroidered on both the bill and the whatever you call this part, and has this string. I don't know if it's just me or what, but this gives me some serious Mike Aiken vibes. So we have the S&M beanie on, but you know, this is a Fit bike series. So let's toss on the Fit hat. Yes. Fueling the fire since '87, S&M bikes. It's a matchbook. Simple, but stuff like this is cool. And if you missed out on the stocking stuffer that this could have been, well, there's always next year, right? Now we have an S&M magnet. This is sick because my refrigerator has nothing BMX on it, and I've debated just sticker bombing the entire fridge. But this will hold me over for now. S&M fridge magnet. Sick. And now we get to the part of the video where this has to do with the upgrading a complete bike. So we have a symbol hub guard for the rear, 4Q 4130 baked chromo universal fit, made in America. Open this up, you'll see why it's called the symbol. Get a little S&M sticker included, as well as some washers. That's why it's called a symbol. Looks kind of like a symbol. This is for the rear, non-drive side. And then we have a matching front. This one also comes with a couple washers and a small S&M sticker. If you see me riding in person, ask for stickers. I have lots. So yeah, symbol hub guards. This one's for the front and 3/8 specific, so that we can protect the wheels, the spokes, and the hubs on this complete bike. There was a lot of comments on the previous video because I did a lot of grinds in it, saying, hey, you might want to get hub guards for that thing. And there was a couple people that said, like, you should get a free coaster for it or something like that. We have this big box right here, which is a wheel set. So I can't really open it on the unboxing camera. I'm wondering if we can just, we'll just rip this open. So we have an OEM wheel set coming with this thing. So we have 2 wheels in this box, and I'm working on getting it out. There we go. All right, so the rear wheel on the current bike that I've been riding is not a double-walled rim. It is a single-walled rim. At least I'm pretty certain that it's single-walled. And one thing I did notice with this, though, is that this is a left-hand drive wheel set, but I'm pretty sure if I look The hubs are very similar. So, because the rear wheel is single walled on that bike, basically what we can either do is we can put this on and switch my cranks over and sprocket over to be left side drive and have the pegs on the left side as well. Or we could take this apart and use the spokes and the rim with the hub that is on the bike. Because it is a sealed cassette hub, we could go that route and then still be able to use the symbol hub guard. So there's gonna have to be an update for that in a future video. And after a quick bit of research, I actually just figured out that both the wheels on this bike are single walled. So actually, both of the wheels would do us some good. I was thinking for some reason that the front wheel was double walled on this, but that wouldn't make any sense. Why wouldn't you make the back wheel the one that was double walled? So with that being said, we can swap out at least the front, and I can put the hub guard onto the back for now until we get a decision on whether or not I'm going to lace that hub up to the rim or we're gonna go left side drive. So I do want to say then, wow, I definitely did not tighten that enough. I do want to say though that these wheels have held up like awesome for being single wall. I am thoroughly impressed with these wheels. Yes, this is a front, but as you can see, it's perfect. I did true it one time or something like that, and it was totally perfect. That is awesome. So we'll take off the rear one as well, since we're gonna be putting the hub guard onto it. This would have been a good time to do the tires, but I wanna do that as a separate update because part of me is like, man, this stuff is working really well. It's not giving out on me yet, and swapping it out already is like quick. Whereas I feel like we could easily ride this for months and months and months and have it be totally fine, which is pretty cool. So I'm gonna keep the tires for now until you guys vote on the tires. Take that out. So as you can see, single walled, it means there's only one wall. This would be the wall right here, going from the sides, connecting the sidewalls together. There's one main wall. On this rim, you'll notice that you can't see the tops of the nipples. It has a second wall there, meaning that there's the main wall on the bottom and then a double wall above that. So naturally, you're gonna be gaining a little bit of weight with a switch like this, but the trade-offs that you get when you trade that weight for stronger wheels is worth it. With that, we can go ahead and just bang everything around. I don't see any kind of indicator of direction, but we do see some stats on here. It says 20-inch 60/61 T6, and the ERD is 390 millimeters. Fit Bike Co. double walled. So I'm just gonna go ahead and decide that this is the way it goes. Should line up my valve stems or stem with the valve hole on the rim. One thing about this tire and the rim that it was on, and even this one now, is it goes on really easily. Go ahead and pop the valve stem into its home. Go ahead and put the tire the rest of the way on. It's always nice whenever you can put a tire onto a rim without tire levers. I know I took it off with one. That was just because I couldn't get a hold of it. Look at that. Already back on there. Easy enough. And this is forward. So if we're going to have peg on the left side, that means that it's going to go on this side. Take off our axle nut here. And it did come with a couple washers. I'm going to use them for sure. So one will go on the inside, one will go on the outside. And that is what it looks like with the hub guard on there. So spin that, you can see no problems with the clearance on the spokes. Then we'll go ahead and take off our peg from this one. Make sure you don't lose your adapter if you have one and you're doing this process. Don't need that axle yet. Need the new one on the new wheel. Axle adapter can just go on there. So now we can just go ahead and put it back onto the bike. It's far away there now. So I guess I should show this part of it. I went to put it back on there and it felt like, you know, I was gonna have to pull the fork apart to put that in there with the washers in there. There's plenty of clearance without them and it will probably fit into the fork better. Yeah, it goes right into the fork like this. So I'm actually gonna do this without the spacers or the washers in there, just because it fits it much better this way. Now tightening this in here, I'm just making sure that the axle is bottomed out in the fork dropout, just so everything is centered and flush. And that looks really good. This one I already made sure before I started tightening it. Okay. And taking a look at this rear wheel for the first time since I rode this bike last, this hub guard is a welcome addition. I definitely have thrashed the spokes pretty good, but the hub seems to be in decent enough shape. Even after just one session, that's what can happen. So you definitely want hub guards if you don't want to completely destroy things, but at this point we can go ahead and take off this rear wheel to put the hub guard on. And I think this may be one where I decide that I'm gonna just go ahead and rebuild this hub onto that rim so that it's a right side, because I just wanna be able to do my peg tricks and everything and make the videos enjoyable to watch at the very least, you know what I'm saying? Take off my chain. And let me go ahead and spin it for you. I haven't even looked at it yet. Yeah, dude, that thing is still solid after a whole session beating the crap out of it. Pretty much on purpose. And it looks to be the same spokes and everything. So make sure everything's tight. Everything's tight and spinning smooth. So I guess let's just go ahead and take this peg off, and then I'm not sure if I'm gonna need the washers or not, because I don't know if this hub guard is going to rub on the spokes. We will know right now. So go ahead and throw that on there. Yeah, so with this one, it doesn't even spin because it just hits the spokes. So we have to throw washers in on this one. I think 2 washers does it pretty decently. Let's see what 3 would be like. 3 puts it way over, but then 3, I mean, they're 1mm washers. We'll put 2 on, but keep 1 in my bag in case I end up needing it. But it's that simple. Then we can go ahead, slide my wheel back into the frame. It does have to get pushed open just a little bit to go back in there. So this isn't what you always want to do, but a little bit isn't going to make or break anything. There we go. So that's back in there. We can go ahead and put our chain back onto our driver. Then our sprocket. Grab the peg and axle nut. Go ahead and toss these back on. Before we tighten those up, we're going to reconnect the brakes. get everything dialed in here. Chain tension is definitely a personal preference type thing, but I know I don't like having my chain too loose or too tight because I like to do crank flips, and to do crank flips you need a somewhat loose chain. Now I realize I did put my wheel off dish by putting the hub guard and the washers on, so this is another reason to build it up to that other rim, just so we can make sure that when I build it all up, I compensate for the hub guard and washer thickness in where my hub sits in the rim as far as dishing goes. Dishing, if you didn't know, is where your hub sits inside your rim. Is it perfectly centered so that when you put it in there, the wheel spins perfectly centered in your frame when your hub is straight? Or is it off so that when you put it into the frame, you have to angle your axle in order to get your wheel centered up here? So having wheel dishing correct definitely can be an important part of a BMX bike. All right, and there we have it. We have the hub guard installed, both front and rear, with a new front wheel installed with a double-walled rim, and plans to either put on a left side drive rear wheel or swap out the hub on this one for the left side drive one so we can continue to run right side drive. I'm pretty sure that the spokes should be the same length. If not, it should be really, really close between using those or these spokes. Should be a fun thing. I could probably do it in a live stream if that's what you guys want, which it's what you guys want, I promise. Either way though, if you guys like what you've seen in this series so far, let me know. Let me know what we upgrade next. I'm gonna have to ride this thing for a session and then we will upgrade something next. And if you like this bike and everything you've seen me do on it, and you want to get one for yourself, you can use the code MORE to save 10% on it and help me at the same time, or you can use it on literally anything from Fit or S&M. It's getting closer and closer to being a more custom bike at this point. So like always, I want to say thank you to Fit and S&M for helping make this happen, and let me know in the comments down below what we're going to upgrade next. Thank you for watching. Check out the playlist to see the rest of the videos, and we'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye.